Hey guys, it's Shawn Hoelscher again, back with another off-the-cuff video. My hair's a little crazy right now, because there's no hair cutteries open right now. I hope all of you are faring well with the whole COVID thing still going on here, the quarantine. I hope you guys are all still coping well out there. Um, Sorry I haven't made a video in a couple of weeks. Um, Last week, I was pretty excited to see Adam go. I thought Adam's always been kind of squirrely. It's been part of his game now for a while. I honestly didn't think that he should have been out there in the first place. If you list all of the men who have won Survivor who aren't out there currently right now, you could pick anybody off of that list who would have been more exciting to see than Adam. I don't know if he got on because of a recency bias. I think that's how a lot of the cast made it on this season. Survivor does do a little bit of a recency bias, it seems like, when they're casting their all-star seasons. So yeah, that's that. I wasn't really excited to see Adam this season. I'm glad that he was out there. I'm glad when ever since this merge has happened, you'd think, just from watching this show as long as I have, you'd think that they'd vote Tyson off right away, and they'd get rid of Tony, and they'd get rid of Jeremy, and they'd get rid of they'd get rid of all of like the 3-time players until the 2-time players were all that was left. That's what we're kind of used to seeing on this show. And that can be kind of daunting sometimes. But the post-merge game has actually been a little bit more exciting because for the first time in the history of the show, I feel like the threats kind of came together and they were trying to work together in these first couple of merge episodes. And so it was nice to see, Wendell go, and it was nice to see Adam go, and just to see something that was a little unexpected. That was nice. It was starting to get predictable, and it was nice that, a wrench got thrown in there and just create a little bit more excitement. Tonight's episode, it's kind of that it was a fast hour. It it just feels like I don't have a lot to say about it because it was the family visit episode. I've never had a problem with the family visit episode. I understand why it's there. It's sweet and it's sentimental, and you're reminded that these are humans, these are people that are playing this game. I know that there's some fans out there that think that it's kind of hooey and hogwash and that people overreact, but if you're close to your family and you're stranded on an island with strangers and there's no technology, there's no cell phones, there's no iPads, there's no Facebook app, and you're not even calling your family on the phone, and you're out there for 30 some days, you'd probably be emotional too. So like I say, I don't mind I don't mind the family visit episodes so much, but it just seemed like this hour was basically entirely dedicated to the family visit because Survivor did something this season that they don't usually do. Usually, somebody just has like their wife or their husband or their boyfriend or girlfriend, their mom or their dad, their brother or their sister, or, if your coach, your assistant coach goes out to see you. And if they have kids old enough, a kid will come out. But it's just one. You get one family member who gets to come out and see you. For this 40th season, the contestants were getting their whole families out there to see them. So it was even extra emotional when everybody, instead of just seeing one family member, people got their whole family, and that included everybody that was on edge of extinction. We got an entire scene of the people that are still on edge of extinction got to see their whole families as well. So CBS went all out, flying these families all the way out to Fiji to see these winners. They really have kind of gone all out this season for everybody. And so, again, it's sweet and it's sentimental. And what was surprising was there was no kind of reward challenge. Jeff just kind of said, you're all going back to camp and you're all going to enjoy your families for the day and you guys are going to have a nice feast. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It was just sweet. And that pretty much took up pretty much the whole hour, was just everybody crying and rejoicing and being happy that their families were on the beach. And then we had an immunity challenge. And Tony, surprisingly, for the first time in his career, won an individual immunity challenge. He is notorious for not being good in challenges, and he won one. He won an immunity challenge. Adam almost beat him. I mean, not Adam. Ben. Ben almost beat him, but Ben messed up, and Tony got the immunity necklace. And then the episode finally kicked into gear because everybody was just scrambling around. It seemed like everybody's name was tossed out there. Everybody was talking about their advantages. Sarah was talking about her steal a vote. Jeremy was talking about his safety without power. And Kim, who I actually forgot had an immunity idol, was talking about playing her immunity idol. And everybody was just talking who to get out. And it seemed like Tony was trying to get all the guys except Jeremy to blindside Jeremy. And he was getting Sarah and Sophie involved in that too. And so Jeremy and Kim and Tyson were trying to work some magic, and they got Michelle and Denise along. And it's 5-5. It was 5-5 tonight. So it was kind of a nail biter to see. Oh man, excuse me. I am sorry. Sorry. Being a dad, I get tired easily at night. But so we had two alliances here fighting for power, and so they go to the tribal council area, and Jeff notices that people are just immediately whispering in each other's ears and scrambling right before the vote. Like, Jeff hardly asked anybody any questions tonight. Everybody was just calling people over and whispering. And look, it seemed like there was some controversy going on from the Edge of Extinction jury members for what happened here, but look, Jeremy read the situation, and he saw that Tony kind of betrayed him. And you gotta give it to Jeremy. He's a smart guy. He is a smart guy. He can read situations really well. And I don't know how he read Tony, but he did. And he knew that Tony was gonna blindside him. So Jeremy used his safety without power advantage, and he just bounced out of tribal council today. And no matter what people say, and like, yeah, he may have abandoned his alliance, but this is Survivor Winners at War. There's $2 million on the line. He knew that he was going to be in the mix. He didn't think that he could be saved, so he had to go. I don't blame him for using that advantage. It was going to be a tough fight. So it was probably in his best interest for his game to do that. And then surprisingly, Sarah used her steal a vote. And what was weird about that was, so you got this group of 5. Sarah uses her steal a vote, so they technically have 6 votes. The other group, they lose Jeremy. See, here's my hand. They lose Jeremy, so they have 4 votes. Sarah takes Denise's vote away, so now they only have 3. So they've got 6 votes on 3. They didn't know that anybody had an idol, but they suspected it. So you'd think they'd just pick kind of 2 people and put 3 votes on one person and then 3 votes on another person. But, and this is something a friend of mine noticed on Twitter, Sarah didn't tell her alliance that she had to steal a vote. You know, the Sophie and Sarah and Tony and Nick and Ben all got together after Jeremy left, and they're like, well, who do you want? And that would have been the time for Sarah to tell them, hey, I got to steal a vote. How should we use this tonight? That would have been the smart thing to do. Because when the votes came back, Kim pulled out her idol, and she was scrutinizing really hard to figure out who she should play this idol for. And she said Denise. Now, my wife and I got kind of surprised because we thought Kim actually read that situation well, but there were 2 votes on Denise and then like a few votes on Sophie, but then a majority of the other votes were put on Tyson. And unfortunately, my man Tyson got kicked out again for the second time this season. So, you know, it was a bummer seeing Tyson go because I do like Tyson. I think he's funny and I think he's a good player. And, you know, I am kind of a bigger fan of the older group than the kind of the more new age players. But you gotta think, if Kim said Tyson over Denise, Sophie would be gone. And that's why I'm saying, like, Sarah might have gotten lucky, but she wasted her steal a vote. Like, she could have told her friends there that they had to steal a vote and to pick 2 people, and if there's an idol, they flush the idol, and then the other person was going home. I mean, if Kim said Tyson over Denise, Sophie would be gone tonight, all right? Like it might have worked in Sarah's favor because she's still there and her alliance is still there, but it was a sloppy move and a waste of a steal a vote. So it could have gone a little bit better. I don't know if anyone thought that it was an exciting tribal council. I mean, it was a little bit unpredictable because Tyson went home. But just a sloppy move. I'm hoping that Michelle and Denise and Kim and Jeremy can pull somebody else over. Maybe Ben, because out of everybody that's left, I really don't want Sophie and Sarah in the final 3. Like, they'd just be those 2 people that's just like, out of everybody to make it to the finals in Winners at War, those 2 made it to the finals. I don't know, they're boring. Like, I'm not saying that they're bad players, they're just boring. They're boring to me. So, I'm hoping some magic can happen. It's still a long way to the end, and kind of like Cambodia's Second Chance. Even though there's people working together, I don't know if there's actual straight alliances. I think that there's just voting blocks. I think that this is going to be another season of voting blocks. I could be wrong. We'll see how the rest of the time goes. I think just Edge of Extinction kind of throws a wrench into things. And everybody's kind of afraid of each other. Everybody knows that they're playing with all winners. So I think it could be more of a voting block season instead of a my alliance is going to squash your alliance season. But we'll see how the rest of it goes. But it just seems like tides are shifting every single episode. And I think that's kind of what makes it exciting. Even though I was sad to see Tyson go, and it was kind of a win for Sophie and Sarah, it is at the very least unpredictable because, like I said, the tides are changing every week. So we'll see. Kind of an uneventful episode until the end, but, I'm glad everyone got to see their families, and that includes people on edge of extinction. Glad they saw their whole families, and kind of a interesting tribal council tonight. It'll be interesting, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how this continues to play out. All right, we'll see you next week, and stay safe and stay sane, everybody. Because I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but we're all in this together. So I hope you guys are staying safe out there.